Okay, here we go again. Rock and rattle retreat. Here's before. And here's after. So we're doing something a little bit different this time. Yeah, we're doing chipping and shredding again, but it's the place where we're doing it that's going to be different. We've been working, well, mostly I've been working on the viewing area, which is a swath of cut down trees and stuff. Right now it's off to the left. The house is going to be off to the right there. And we're going to go down. Yeah. Septic tank is to the left. Outhouse is on top of it. But we're going down here and chip and shred, rather than drag it all the way up. We're going down to it this time. Yeah, it's a bit of a bumpy ride, but look at all that brush there. Now, I guess I could have grappled it and dragged it all the way up, but don't need to. We can just do it in place. And the wife was with me this time, so it goes much quicker. So let's set this up. Turn it around. Point it at the chipper. This baby up. You know, the problem is pointing the wrong direction at the moment. So let's get everybody on the correct side and then block it so we don't hit anybody, and then duck underneath it. And we're just spreading it out here. And you can see the outhouse is up there. The septic field is to the right. And that's basically where we're going to be chipping out into mostly. And really this is going to go a lot quicker because all these little trees that I took out of the viewing area are mostly straight. They're not branches that go everywhere direction, which is mainly the oak branches, oak tree branches. So most of these just plug right on into the chipper. You get down to the small little limbs and they'll go into the shredder portion on top. Just like this. And they don't all go in. It's a fight sometimes. Get in there. So the wife went up to get the clippers, just in case we need them to clip any limbs or anything. But the majority of it is pretty straight. We do have some that have bigger pieces at the bottom that won't go in the chipper, so those got to be sawed off before we make it in the chipper. Look at that, just spit them out. look really close, it chips pretty good, but there's a lot of stuff that's coming out, or some stuff that's coming out that's not really chipped. So I probably need to change over those blades. They're reversible, and I have a new set. So then it probably needs a little bit of adjustment. I should probably do that as a separate video. Okay, gotta duck underneath that thing if you're going across it, because it does put them out. In here, I'll show you. You can see the little pieces going out. Now we got some good stuff going out. Once in a while you can see some stuff going out that's not really small. And let's get going here. I'm going to move it a little bit, and yeah, there's a lot of branches or little trees to chip up. But you make that big pile go into a small little pile or shred it everywhere. Makes it smaller. Don't have to worry about fires. Did make a big pile of leaves we didn't do anything with, but that's the way it is. And the wind was blowing around a bit, so I keep moving the head around the output to try to get around all the breeze coming back at us. But I guess today it just kind of swirled around and it came from about different areas, and I just kept moving it. Look at that pile of brush just go away. That was a lot of sessions to take out all that. And we're not done yet. It's rinse and repeat. Once you get done with one pile, you make another pile. You'll see here in a little bit. So there's the end cutoffs down there at the bottom. Okay, like I said, rinse and repeat. So this is in the viewing area. It's too big for loppers. It's a lot of bit of stuff for a electric chainsaw, so I got the big one. You can see in the center there's a big stump from the tree I cut down originally, and it just sprouted off from there and created a lot of little ones that I haven't gotten back to for a few years. And now it's time to get rid of them again. So I have a clear viewing area, and it's going to have to be widened out eventually, but let's get all these little stuff out of here. And this one's caught up there at the top that you can't see. And it just doesn't want to go for a little bit. that's in the way. There we go. And the other one's sort of in the way. The other problem is rocks. So I have to be careful not to hit the rocks when I'm cutting these little limbs off. Are these limbs or are these trees? They're sort of growing off the stump. If I let them grow up, they'll be big trees. A whole mess of them, I guess. Or is that a whole big bunch of limbs that are going to be big as trees? I don't know. So how many times does it take to cut off a limb or a tree before it doesn't grow back anymore? Because these are coming off the stump. So it's regrowth. And, oh, there goes the camera. Come on, back up you go. Kind of a never-ending battle, seems like. So my idea, or plan, is to get rid of these little ones, big ones, whatever you want to call them. And there's some wild rhododendron down here. I'm hoping it's going to overtake most of it because the rhododendrons don't go up as much as a tree does. They'll shade it out. Hopefully they'll shade out most of the trees and I won't have that many trees to cut down after this. I keep it trimmed down for a while. Maybe they won't grow up anymore. Now there's a pile of limbs, trees off a big chunk. And that won't go through the chipper shredder, so I'm gonna cut it down a little bit. And there, its footing is not good either. It's because there's rocks there and there's leaves on the rocks and in between the rocks, and you can't tell where it's solid ground and where there's rock and where there's nothing. So those should go through the chipper shredder now. Some leaves, cut some more. There you kind of can see that stump there in the center. It's mostly rotten. But that's where all these limbs are coming from. Try to cut the limbs and not the rocks. You can see that that's a bit rotten. There's another section. trim these down. And camera's going to go again. So, got that done. Now let's get some of this smaller stuff just clipped out of here with the loppers. Now a lot of that I drug up to where I just chipped and shredded and made another pile. Most of this stuff, since it's down here on another bench, basically, I'm dragging off to the side because I got a trail down from the other side down to this bottom part. So I'll probably bring the chipper shredder down here and chip and shred it eventually. But it's easier dragging it off to the side than it is all the way back up the hill. Okay, so here we have a bunch of greenbrier intermixed with some of these little trees. So the object is to get rid of the little trees in the greenbrier. And also I'm using the loppers. So anything the loppers aren't getting, I'm leaving for the moment and come back later. Don't know exactly when later, but later, and get those. There's the greenbrier. That's a big pile of greenbrier. And that I bring up to the top, and I'm going to burn it eventually, but it's a big pile. That's not going to go through chipper shredder. So here's the new pile for the chipper shredder, and you can see the shredding part that we did a little bit ago. Really good pile of chip shred. That's what we originally started with. There's the viewing area. It's got to widen out right and left after the first pass, and then after the second pass, and so forth and so forth. And it's becoming fall and the leaves are falling, so it's harder to see where it actually is after this. A lot of that stuff on the left has got to go too at some point in time. But down there you can see the green, that is the rhododendrons. And here's the viewing area. We'll go up a little bit, and basically if you want to keep track of us, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Give us a comment on whether you think how long it's going to take before these trees come back up again. I got to cut them again. And I'll see you later.